Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this video brought to you by myself, Umar Aswat, or as some say, Omar Aswat. Today is the 28th of December 2023, and this video is brought to you from al-Madani al-Munawwara, the city of the Blessed Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I've put out two videos previously, what we studied in the first semester and what we studied in the second semester in the faculty of Qur'an and Islamic Studies, Kulliyatul Qur'an wa Dirasatul Islamiyya, or wa Dirasatul Islamiyya. And, many comments, alhamdulillah, it seems like, people, viewers had an interest, good comments that have been received, and many have been waiting for this video. Just a disclaimer. So anyways, here is the video of the third semester. So what we studied in the third semester in the faculty of Quran. Now, just to be clear, as not a disclaimer, but the syllabus changed. The syllabus, as in 2 years ago when I came, so it's been 2.5 years now, but so 2.5 years ago when I came in August, September, when the year starts, we're doing 2 semesters per annum. And I like giving you these small bits of information, so this can help students that potentially come in the future, or just, general information is good. So 2 semesters per annum. And then last year when I started, so that was when I was in the Ma'had, the Arabic Institute, معهد اللغة العربية لغير الناطقين بها, meaning the Institute of the Arabic Language for those that do not speak it. I don't want to talk too much about that because we will get sidetracked. I actually want this to be a short video because I'll be flying to Riyadh very shortly, as in early morning. And I said, alhamdulillah, first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me the ability to shoot this video. And I hope this video is beneficial for you. And inshallah, I think you will learn a lot of things, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, because I will go into a bit of detail. So for example, Shatibiyyah, Tafsir ibn Kathir, and the rest of it, inshallah, I'll teach you a few things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me the ability, and I was thinking I'm going to shoot a quick video and then I need to head out and do some other work and the rest of it. But I don't think it's going to be a short video because, alhamdulillah, this has been my best semester till date, and primarily because of the teachers, alhamdulillah. Blessed and honored to study under such teachers, and I'll talk about them as well very shortly. So as a disclaimer, as I said, 2 semesters, and then last year when I started the faculty of Quran, they changed it to 3 semesters. And now from this year, they've changed it back to 2 semesters. So technically, according to the academic system, I am in the 3rd semester, or I've just finished. So literally, so today's the 20th of December. I've got another exam Thursday night. I have another exam on Sunday afternoon. So I'll fly back on Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon is my final exam, which is a topic called al-Qiyam al-Islamiyya. So I haven't finished the semester yet. But, so last year was 3 semesters, and last year was, if you've seen the previous videos, Sana Mushtarika. So, that first year, all the students of all the faculties in the first year, so all the students in the first year of all the faculties, they study that, and I found it very beneficial because my background has not, as in I don't come from like a, religious or studious background in that sense. I've done a few bits here and there, but never been consistent and the rest of it. So alhamdulillah, for me it was good to get general knowledge on all subjects and the rest of it. But anyways, the 3rd semester last year, I still haven't made the video. So, but I'm going to call this one the 3rd semester as the title, official title. And then what I'll do is I'll make a short video. That video, which is overdue now, about the last semester that I studied last year, it'll probably be short because, like I've got the books and everything here, alhamdulillah, but I should basically make, so that's why I'm shooting this video, and that's why I'm saying alhamdulillah that Allah's given me the ability because the video should be shot straight after the semester ends, or the semester's not ended yet. But so I don't remember much. That's one thing. And the second thing, to be very honest with you, that was probably my worst semester in the sense of me personally and spiritually. So I was distracted elsewhere and the rest of it. And I'm not gonna come here and start acting all extra pious. It's necessary and it's important to be in touch with reality. Sometimes I feel and I find that like if I wanted to, I can come on and just like be serious and say the Prophet ﷺ said this and everyone's going Jahannam and the rest of it. But I think it's important to just be a bit relaxed as well and be a bit be in touch with reality, because students, they find it hard. Many students, they find it hard, they struggle. Personally, one student from the Faculty of Qur'an from India, he was a friend of mine. I just said goodbye to him 2 weeks ago maybe. And he was a very good student, but everyone has their own struggles. So that semester I was struggling a little bit, and we have to be honest, because many people, they struggle in silence, because some societies or some communities or some little groups of people, they go on so over pious on the outer, but we don't know what they're doing, to be honest. And then everyone feels a bit subdued, like we can't say anything, but it's reality. And Shaitan huwa mawjood, Shaitan is always around. فَوَرَبِّكَ لَنَحْشُرَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. أجمعين, he's around for each and every one of us. And the student of knowledge, I always say the student of knowledge and the married individual will be attacked by Shaitan more. The reason, and I know I'm going off topic here, so forward it if you have to, but inshallah you find this beneficial. The student of knowledge and the married individual. So I'm getting attacked from both angles, and as will many. Many will be getting attacked. Why the student of knowledge? Why does Shaitan attack the student of knowledge? It's obvious, because number one, he or she is benefiting him or herself. Islamic knowledge. You're getting, every time you read in the book or you're sitting in a dars, in ta'aleem, you're getting reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shaitan is not happy, and more importantly, you now are equipped to benefit so many more people. So Shaitan is not happy at all, and therefore Shaitan huwa mawjood, da'iman mawjood, is always present. Keep that in mind. And the married individual, why? We know why, because the family unit is the backbone of our society, and we see the family unit currently being attacked, particularly in the West, in the UK, for example. Why? Because once the family unit dissolves, then everything will be all over the place. And husband and wife, there's many benefits. I will make a separate video around this between husband and wife. But for husband and wife to stay together, it's the fabric, it's the backbone of society. So I was a bit demotivated in that last semester, and I just sometimes when you study too much, you need a break and the rest of it. But alhamdulillah, I passed with flying colors. And yeah, I made it through, alhamdulillah. So I will make a short video on that. Just, at least if I give you the books that we studied, so it'll benefit some of you. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And the other thing about, being in touch with reality, and, sometimes people, they have, sometimes they students of knowledge as well, and general people, they come onto deen, for example, and they become like, when I say over pious, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, but what I'm trying to say is that they expect everyone else to now become pious because they've become pious. And life doesn't work like that. You have to come back to reality. Sometimes people see the mashayikh, and alhamdulillah, I've had the ability and the honor to sit with many massive mashayikh here in Saudi Arabia, alhamdulillah. One of them being Fadilatul Sheikh Dr. Abdullah Al-Jarullah. You'll probably see I've mentioned him in other videos, and the Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Akhdar, the Imams of Haramain, Sheikh Buayjan, Sheikh Hussein al-Sheikh, for example. These are Imams of Masjid al-Nabawi Sharif. And, you know, so sometimes people have this, they'll see a scholar, and they'll see him on the video, they'll see him sitting in Masjid al-Nabawi giving a lesson, or wherever, in any masjid giving a lesson, and the scholar is serious at that time. And that's obvious. Obviously you're going to be serious. And then they then, I don't know, they have this thing here, like, then they try to, they want to be all serious as well, but they don't understand that with the general public and outside of ta'aleem and giving a lecture, it's good to be relaxed and chilled out, because that's, you know, obviously in certain instances you have to be a bit serious, yes, for sure, but they act serious like in every circumstance. Like, you know, even when they're just socializing with their family or with their friends, they put on this act, being over serious. So you have to be relaxed. People like it when you're relaxed, and people can relate to you more. Always being serious and telling people off and criticizing is no good for anyone. It's no good for yourself. It's unsustainable. Be yourself. This is the bottom line. Be yourself. For example, I was with Sheikh Hussein al-Sheikh for about 4 or 5 hours just 2 weeks ago, and alhamdulillah, I've known this sort of mentality that, you know, we have to be relaxed with the people. And there's a hadith as well that push towards this. You know, adab, akhlaq, this kind of thing, is all connected. And you know, he had just led, I didn't even know, but he had just led Maghrib in Masjid al-Nabawi, and then he came to al-Maqari al-Qur'aniyya, which is the institute for Quranic teachings. And, you know, literally I came out of the lift, and so I'm trying to come out of the lift, and him, Sheikh Abu Ayjan and Sheikh Abdullah al-Jarrah, they're trying to come into the lift. And then, you know, he big smile, he puts his hand out, he gives salam, he's like, kayfa haluk, and this, that, like, you know, just relaxed. Even when he's singing like, he's like he was slouching a little bit as well. And just proper relaxed. Sheikh Abu Ayjan was a bit more serious, and that's fine as well. He was slightly more serious, but he was still relaxed as well. But the point here is, you know, he's been Imam in Masjid al-Nabawi for about 20 years plus, maybe 25, maybe more. And, you know, he's not behaving like all angry. And some people, as I say, I don't know, they're just not normal, to be honest. You have to be relaxed with the people, and people, they start to like you more, and then that's when you can sort of help people and the rest of it. Anyways, I've waffled on for about 13 minutes. So we'll start with the main book, the main subject, which was 9 hours out of the 24 hours in the week. So it was a full week. There's only 1 hour we used to have off on Mondays, where the teachers have a meeting. The other semesters last year, I used to do 17, 18 hours per week, but now it's full, serious. So this is like, technically, this is the first actual real semester in the faculty of Qur'an, because each semester then specializes, each kulliyah specializes, kulliyat al-sharia, in fiqh, usul al-fiqh, kulliyat al-hadith, kulliyat al-da'wah, kulliyat al-lugha, kulliyat al-Qur'an. So now we're starting to specialize. So I'll just give you a quick outline, and then I'll go into each topic or each subject. The main subject, 9 hours per week, we studied al-Shatibiyya, which is this here. This is the text, the poem by Imam al-Shatibi, rahimahullah, and with the guidance of this book, Al-Wafi fi Sharh al-Shatibiyyati, 9 hours per week. So this was the main subject. Then we did Umdat al-Tafsir عن الحافظ ابن كثير, so التفسير تحليلي, 4 hours per week. We did علوم القرآن مدخل ودراسات في علوم القرآن, 4 hours per week. Then we did مدخل في علم القراءات, 2 hours. القيم الإسلامية, 2 hours. التجويد والأصوات, 2 hours per week. And الحديث, حديث تحليلي, 2 hours per week. And finally, 1 hour per week was أخلاقيات في حملة القرآن. So because this subject is 9 hours per week, it just makes sense for me to go into this. Effectively, what we had to do is, so there's many angles to this, but you have Shatibiyya, which is a poem written by Imam al-Shatibi, rahimahullah, and it is 1,173 lines, or abiyat. Bait is a line of poetry, abiyat is the plural, so 1,000, so 1173 أبيات في حرز الأماني ووجه التهاني. So the actual name is حرز الأماني ووجه التهاني, otherwise known as الشاطبية or متن الشاطبية في القراءة السبع. The author is القاسم بن فيره بن خلف بن أحمد الشاطبي الرعيني الأندلسي. So he's actually from Muslim world Spain, or when the Muslims ruled Spain, so Andalusia, he's from there. This is the tahqiq copy by Sheikh Muhammad Tamim al-Zu'bi, hafidhahullah. And what we had to do is we had to, obviously there's two angles. One is the memorizing, so this is why Kulliyat al-Qur'an is the most difficult, and then you could say prestigious faculty. I'm being a bit biased because I'm part of this faculty, but alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, because there's a lot of memorizing to do. So obviously, like I've heard, like from next semester we're going to start memorizing Rasm al-Mushaf. I think there's about 600 abiyat. There's another thing that we need to memorize, which is about 100 abiyat. We had to memorize Jazariya. Alhamdulillah, I had done that previously, but I had to still revise it, which is 107 abiyat. And there's Ad-Durra as well, which is in في القراءة العشر. في القراءة العشر. So what we basically did is we then, from the introduction, as part of the syllabus, as part of the semester, the muqarrar, the syllabus for the semester, we did until باب الفتح والإمالة وبين اللفظين. So we didn't start that chapter, we actually finished باب أحكام النون الساكنة والتنوين, which is line 290, 290, line 290. You can see what I've been doing, highlighting and this, that. But one thing I must mention is memorizing brings you apart from the rest. So I know there's many institutes, especially the Alimiyya system, they don't memorize, and I without looking down on anyone or putting them down, everyone's doing great work. I'm just saying there is a big difference if you memorize. It just makes you a lot stronger, and it made it easy for my understanding as well, and vice versa. So if I was memorizing before the explanation by my teacher, as part in the lesson, then it was helping, and then vice versa as well. If I had memorized after, it helped as well. So effectively, we went through the chapters Al-Muqaddimah. I'm going to make a special video about going through Shatibiyya once I've finished, every single bab, we'll go through them, and I'll probably even give an overview video. But then you have Bab al-Isti'adha. So the introduction is 94 abiyat. It's quite long. It's beautiful. It goes in a lot of interesting detail. Bab al-Isti'adha, Bab al-Basmalati, Surah al-Qur'ani, which is, leave it in the comments below, Surah al-Qur'ani. Leave what is Surah al-Qur'ani, the answer, leave it in the comments below. باب الإدغام الكبير, باب إدغام الحرفين المتقاربين في كلمة وفي كلمتين, باب هاء الكناية, باب المد والقصر, باب الهمزتين من كلمة, باب الهمزتين من كلمتين, باب الهمز المفرد, باب نقل حركة الهمزة إلى الساكن قبلها, باب نقل, so ورش, إن في خلق السماوات والأرض. باب وقف حمزة وهشام على الهمز. This is a very difficult topic. Most students find it difficult. I actually found that one okay, because I found these videos by this channel called al-Muallim. So if he's watching by any random chance, or if anyone knows who this is, those videos are excellent, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the brother, where he explains everything in English, and that's helpful for me. Why? Because obviously the teacher explains everything in Arabic, all the lessons are in Arabic, but sometimes, and I think many Western students will probably relate to this, when someone just gives you the final explanation in English, everything just clicks. So it's just one of them things. باب الإظهار والإدغام ذكر ذال إذ ذكر ذال قد ذكر تاء التأنيث ذكر لام هل وبل. This is talking about idgham basically. So for example, هتري or قد شغفها instead of قد شغفها قد شغفها وشه الشاهد ذكر ذلك إذ for example I'm not, I need to pull out, so this is where you pull out al-wafi, because it's got all the examples in there. This is how it looks basically. al-wafi في شرح الشاطبية by تأليف عبد الفتاح بن عبد الغني القاضي, who is the teacher of Sheikh Ibrahim al-Akhtar رحمه الله حفظه الله. He used to also be a teacher at the Islamic University back in the day. So for example, وَإِذْ زَيَّنَ التَّمْشِي إِذْ صَرَفْنَا إِذْ دَخَلْتَ إِذْ سَمِعْتُمُوهُ إِذْ جَاءَتْهُمْ. This is idgham. Examples from باب دال قد وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا وَالسَّمِعَ وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا قد جاءكم ولقد صرفنا قد شغفها or باب تاء التأنيث. So this is the beauty of al-wafi. It's got all the examples in there from the Qur'an, and it gives the explanation as well. It's very good, mashallah. Sheikh Abdullah al-Jarullah, he did make a comment though. He said try to go back to the mutaqaddimin, because this book is very recent. The author, he didn't pass away. He passed away in 1403. So not too long ago, about 40 years ago. So I think it's important to go back to the mutaqaddim, the original shuruhat, because I think he said there's about 157 shuruhat of ash-Shatibiyya, and it's important to go back to the original. So he recommended a specific one called Sirajul Qari. I think there's another one called Fathur Rasid, and there's quite a few. أنبت السبع سنابل كذب الثمود حصرت صدورهم كلما خبز زدناهم كانت ظالمة نضجت جلودهم. That's a good one. نضجت جلودهم. And then باب لام هل وبل. So for example, بل ضلوا بل طبع بل ظننتم بل زين بل سولت هل ثوبل. هل ثوبل, حفص هل ثوبل, but you do get هل ثوبل. بل نقذف بل تأتيهم هل ننبئكم حتى no. And then باب اتفاقهم في إدغام إذ وقد وتاء التأنيث وهل وبل. So that's basically a chapter going through where all جميع القراء, all the قراء, they agree on the إدغام. For example, إذ ظلمتم إذ ذهب قد تبين حصدتم. So you know this because it's حفص is included obviously in جميع القراء. أجيبت دعوتكما فما. We don't even think about it. When you're just doing hifd and the rest of it, you don't even think that, okay, you didn't idgham here, but why did I do it here, for example? Because it just becomes normal to us. For example, فما ربحت تجارتهم. It's actually فما ربحت تجارتهم. فآمنت طائفة. قل ربي. We don't ever think it's قل ربي. قل لمن الأرض. بل رفعه. بل لا تكرمون اليتيم. هل لكم يدرككم الموت. It's actually يدرككم الموت. فلا يسرف في القتل حتى عفوا وقالوا آووا ونصروا قالوا وأقبلوا. We don't do idgham here. Why? في يتامى النساء. في يتامى النساء قالوا وأقبلوا. Why don't we do idgham? Because these are واو and ya maddiya. قالوا وأقبلوا. If you say قالوا وأقبلوا, then it's incorrect. في يتامى النساء. And then باب ذكر حروف قربت مخارجها. So there's certain areas where, you know, for example, يفعل ومن يفعل ذلك فقد ظلم نفسه. فنبتها. So Hafs, there's إظهار when you say نون والقلم وما يسطرون. But many of the other Qur'an, they say نون والقلم وما يسطرون. وياسين والقرآن الحكيم. There's another interesting one, Hamza. Hamza is one of the Imams. I'll mention the Imams now. In fact, if I go to my other video where I'll go through who the 7 Imam are and then the 2 Rawiyains. I won't repeat it here. But he's instead, you know, in Hafs we say Tasim. Hamza says Tasim بالإظهار. Tasin. لئن اتخذت إلها غيري يا بني اركب معنا. Hafs we do يا بني اركب معنا, but we never questioned why is it not يا بني اركب معنا. And there are other قراء. ثم بين أن البزية وقالون وخلادا قرأوا بخلف عنهم بإظهار الباء عند الميم في اركب معنا في هود, فيكون لكل منهم الإظهار والإدغام. وقرأ ابن عامر وخلف وورش بالإظهار قولا واحدا. So Ibn Amir, who's so you have Ibn Amir, the 2 Rawiyains are Hisham and Ibn Dhakwan. You have Khalaf, which is عن Hamza, and we have Warsh عن Nafi'. They do بالإظهار قولا واحدا. So they say يا بني اركب معنا بالقلقلة كل شيء. وقرأ الباقون بالإدغام قولا واحدا وهم قنبل وأبو عمرو وعاصم والكسائي حفصا عاصم. Therefore we say يا بني اركب معنا. يلهث ذلك يعذب من يشاء. And we finished with باب أحكام النون الساكنة والتنوين. The key point to take away there is that خلف وكل بينمو أدغم مع غنة وفي الواو والياء دونها خلف تلا. So خلف أدغم النون إلا أن خلفا عن حمزة أدغم النون الساكنة والتنوين في الواو والياء بلا غنة. مثلا موال ومن يقول وبرق يجعلون no غنة. That's for خلف only. That's an easy chapter. So yeah, alhamdulillah, the teacher Sheikh Muhammad Noor Saif is a legend, and I hope to have him again in the next semesters. The reason he's a legend is because, you know, this is completely new to me, for example, and it's new to many of us. And, you know, you need to have a teacher that's understanding, loves to answer questions. You know, I have a lot of questions, a lot of things I didn't understand. There's still things I don't understand. And, you know, he always takes his time out to explain the mechanisms. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him. And he's very nice teacher. He's very strict. And he's strict in the sense that all my lessons, these 9 hours, most of them would start at 8 a.m. till 10. Yeah, and then so 2, 4. Sorry, it wasn't 9 hours. It wasn't 9 hours. 7 hours a week. 7 hours a week. So 8 to 10, 3 days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then one of the days we used to have 12 to 1 on Sundays as well. The only issue is that I live about 15-minute drive. I live on the opposite side of the Jamia in the city of Medina Munawwara, and he used to start doing the register at 7:57 sometimes. So in terms of my lateness, yeah, most of the time I probably used to be a few minutes late. But khairan, alhamdulillah, is a very nice teacher, and alhamdulillah, he was very pleased with me because my hifd of Shatibiyya, it could have been better. Just sometimes I'm a bit busy elsewhere, and therefore it's difficult to keep up, but please pray for me. But he was happy that my hifd was strong in terms of the Qur'an. He said that's the asl. Like some people, they memorize this very well, but when it comes to don't like this. When it comes to the Qur'an, the hifd is weak. So you have to always remember, we go back to the Qur'an. The Qur'an is the asl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us. This is Al-Wafi, very good book, and explains everything with examples and the rest of it. Yeah, there's no need for me to go into too much detail, because if you subscribe to my channel, then there'll be a lot of lessons coming your way in terms of Shatibiyya, Jazariyya, Tajweed, Qur'an, and the rest of it. The next topic, my teacher, Dr. Suhaib, is Umdat al-Tafsir, which is Mukhtasar Tafsir al-Qur'an al-Karim by Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah. This text is quite small. There's a lot going on here. But tafsir is tafsir, alhamdulillah. We completed up until the verse مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَةٍ أَوْ نُنْسِهَا. And very interesting. We learnt a lot, alhamdulillah. There was a lot to learn. We didn't start from Alhamdu because Surah Al-Fatiha, we did it last year. So we started from Alif Lam Mim. And then, tafsir is, for example, قد اختلف المفسرون في الحروف المقطعة التي في أوائل السور. So the Mufassirun, they differed in their in their stance on the Alif Lam Mim, for example. So some just left it, some didn't. ولم يفسروها, they just didn't give tafsir, and then other scholars have said their own thing. So this is what tafsir is basically. And then there's certain words which are a bit difficult, so he explains. And then you have qawl al-rajih. So Ibn Kathir used to go back to At-Tabari quite a bit, for example, and then he used to give his own opinion. And then you have the qawl al-rajih. So yeah, there's a lot going on in tafsir. A lot of lessons to be learned. For example, the first 4 verses are for the mu'minun, then the second 2 are for the kafirun. So all these small things which allows you to come closer to the Quran, which then allows you to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is beautiful, it's amazing. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم. You do waqf there. وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. And then obviously you come to the munafiqun. There's a lot of verses on the munafiqun. Why? Because they were around at that time. Surah Al-Baqarah is a Madani surah. And then we come to Bani Israel. Al-Manna was-Salwa. What is Al-Manna was-Salwa? And then we finish, closer to the end. We had وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ, which goes into magic and the rest of it. It's quite interesting. Who was Harut, Marut? Who were they? And these are all things that I want you to go away and perhaps spend some time looking into, because the bottom line is we're coming closer to the Quran, which is the greatest thing one can do with his or her time in his or her life. The next book that I want to go through is التجويد والأصوات. So now my name is Umar Aswat, therefore my teacher gave me full marks. Not really, but he did make 1 or 2 jokes. Oh yeah, this teacher is Ustad Dr. Al-Shinqiti. I think it's Muhammad Al-Amin. He used to be the Amir of the Kulliyah. He was the dean of the faculty a few years ago. Wallahi, he's, every teacher has their own style, right? And it's about, I just want to make a comment that it's about us adapting to the teacher, not the teacher has to adapt to you. I remember in Ma'had, some students used to expect the teacher to adapt to them. Like, who are you? You have to adapt to the teacher. So this teacher, subhanAllah, is very relaxed, very jokey, makes really good jokes, and he has people up as well, which is good. Sometimes you need that. And wallahi, like even for example, when we're doing the exams, they're just walking around, they're always reading Qur'an, they're connected, fully connected. Allah make us from the people of the Qur'an. Effectively, this at-tajweed wal aswat, we went through Jazariyah, which I'll be releasing some videos very soon as well, using the same slides, the same PowerPoint presentations my teacher used to teach us. I'll be using the same slides, his slides, and I'll be teaching you guys. So as I say, subscribe to this channel and share as well. Nas'alullah al-qubula wal-ikhlas. And then, effectively, this was the book that we went through. As in, we mainly were taught through the PowerPoints, but الشرح الوجيز على المقدمة الجزرية, this is what we used to read from. Jazariya is a famous poem by Imam al-Jazari rahimahullah ta'ala, who is the expert in, as in, he's the one that we always refer back to, generally speaking. So the number of lines is 107. It goes through different aspects. For example, it has the introduction. Then we go through the مخارج الحروف. مخارج الحروف 17 على الذي يختاره من اختبر. ألف الجوف وأختاها وهي حروف مد للهواء تنتهي. Then we go through the صفات الحروف. باب معرفة التجويد. باب الترقيق. باب أحكام الراءات, so about the letter را. باب الضاد والظاء. باب أحكام النون والميم الساكنتين والمشددتين. باب أحكام المد, so the rules of mad. And then once the rules of mad are complete, that's tajweed generally complete. Then we go to waqf al-ibtida, which is stopping and starting. Where do you stop? Where do you restart? We don't just say alhamdulillah. What kind of a stop is that? It's all connected. Rabbil Alameen is connected to Lillahi. It's the sifa. So, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And then we go to something very interesting called al-maqtu'u wal-mawsul. For example, we have the word innama. Sometimes it's written inna ma. Sometimes written as one word, innama. Another example is amman. Sometimes it's written amman in the Quran. It's rasm al-mushaf. Why are certain words written a certain way? Innama, we've said that. Another good example is imma. So it's interesting. اتفقت المصاحف على قطع إن عن ما. So not joining in ma. في قوله تعالى في سورة الرعد وإما نرينك بعض الذي نعدهم. But then you have in Surah Yunus وإما, where it's joined together, and وفي غافر فإما نرينك. Same goes for ألا تعبدوا. So فاقطع بعشر كلمات ألا مع ملجأ ولا إله إلا وتعبدوا ياسين ثاني هود لا يشركن تشرك يدخلا تعلو على ألا يقول لا أقول. So the author gives 10 places where Allah is فاقطع, disconnected. But stay tuned for my videos on that, بإذن ta'ala. And then he ends with التزبرة. باب هاءة التأنيث المرسومة في المصحف تاء. باب الابتداء بهمزة الوصل. And then we have الخاتمة. نسأل الله القبول والإخلاص. That was 2 hours per week. The next topic is الميسر في علوم القرآن. Very interesting again, very interesting. Feeling a bit tired now, so I have to speed up a bit. 4 hours. So again, this is a major topic. 4 hours per week on this one. We went through many interesting areas. Oh, subhanAllah, this teacher, Sheikh al-Shamrani, he's actually just authored a book and he showed us his book, subhanAllah. He's an expert in ulum al-Qur'an, probably tafsir and qira'at as well, it seemed like. But you know, sometimes you just have them teach us. He teaches you other things away from the muqarrar, but it's so beneficial for you, like, and he motivates you and inspires you. And you know, when a teacher starts naming so many scholars of the past, and then he's naming all the books they've authored, this is top of his head. And then the year of death, you know, tuwaffi, whichever, lil hijrah, then you know that this person's, you know, he's got a lot of ilm, he's got a lot of knowledge, he's been doing a lot of reading, he's on a very high level. So, you know, he mentions this book, that book, and he taught me something very interesting. He taught us all something very interesting, which I'll relay back to you now, which is that, you know, sometimes people think we have to read a book cover to cover, and then we just get demotivated. Shaitan puts you off. Sometimes he said it's more around, you know, reading bits from a book, and, you know, just picking the book up, you know, okay, al-Muyassaru fi ulum al-Qur'ani, okay, who's the author? Okay, go to the back, you know, bit of a summary, what's happening there, for example, you know, it's in a diagram format. Then, you know, read through the contents and you say, oh, okay, it's got Qasas al-Qur'an, al-Jadlu fi al-Qur'an al-Kareem, it's got Gharib al-Qur'an, Ilm al-Waqf wal-Ibtida. So now you've, you know, just by doing this general overview, you know this book exists and you know where to find things in the future. So you have to take things slowly but surely. So it's very good, mashallah. One thing that I've definitely learnt is Imam as-Suyuti, rahimahullah, is the legend, is the don. You know, every science I study, his name is there. He's written a book on it. Apparently he authored over 1,000 books. Some of them may be small, but he still authored many books. And then there's one book which is there, Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran, which is a big, thick book. Everything about ulum al-Quran. Ulum al-Quran is very interesting, and bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, I'll bring you more from there. In terms of what we studied as part of the muqarrar, al-Jadalu fi al-Quran al-Kareem, Qasas al-Quran, we didn't do Qasas al-Quran, we did Amthal al-Quran, Aqsam al-Quran, Dalalatu al-Fadhi al-Quran, إعراب القرآن, المعرب في القرآن, الوجوه والنظائر في القرآن. For الوجوه والنظائر, go to one of my older videos, you'll understand what we're talking about there. غريب القرآن, مبهمات القرآن. مبهمات القرآن, for example, is you have some words in the Quran which doesn't, you know, it's unclear about who it's relating to, but then it's clarified later on by the hadith, for example. For example, وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةِ. وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةِ, who, nobody knows who that is, but it's clarified by the hadith, and we know it's Hawa. Or, for example, أَوْ كَالَّذِي مَرَّ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ, or yes, for example, Al-Qarya, is it Makkah, is it Medina, is it Taif, what is it? And then we did Mutashabih al-Quran. You know, Mutashabih al-Quran, I've made a few videos on the Mutashabihat in the Quran. But yes, Sheikh Dayfullah al-Shamrani, Hafidhullah, was the legend. And he inspired us in many ways, you know, in different ways, not just directly related to this, but, you know, talking about other stuff, giving us other ilm. For example, Ibn al-Qayyim, it's not correct if you say Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, because it's actually Qayyim al-Jawziyah, mudaf ilayh. So you can't say al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah. Qayyim, so you know how you have Amidul Kulliyah, the dean of the faculty. Qayyim was a similar, and Jawziyah was actually the name of the school. So Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, so he was the son of the principal of the school, which was called al-Jawziyah. So he teaches all these interesting things. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah. And this is where you're gaining extra benefit. Alhamdulillah. Accept. So we've got 3 more subjects to go through. This one was interesting. Al-Madkhal fi ilm al-qira'at. This is introducing us to the knowledge of qira'at. So for example, sab'atu ahruf. Sometimes people think sab'atu ahruf, the Qur'an, sab'atu ahruf is the 7th qira'at. No, that's not correct. We learnt about al-qira'at, al-mutawatira, al-shadha, which is, you have 7, then you have 3 more, which makes 10, which are accepted. But then you have the shadha, which are the 14. And there's many, so there's 4, and then there's many more. But there's 4 that are known. For example, through Hassan al-Basri, Ibn Muhaysin, I think al-Yazidi, and the 4th one I've forgotten. For example, who came up with these 7? Al-Baghdadi. Ibn Mujahid al-Baghdadi, rahimahullah ta'ala, he came up with these 7 in his book titled As-Sab'a. All these interesting things. So, we learn about the definition of what is usul, what is furush, qira'ah, riwayah, turuq, or tariq. And then we learn more about the himma in more detail. We learn about tahrirat. We studied, jam'a. So in terms of reading, how you sort of read the different styles of reading. And alhamdulillah, very beneficial. Teacher was cool as well, alhamdulillah. Sheikh al-Ghamidi. Sheikh, not Sa'ad al-Ghamidi. His name is Sa'id al-Ghamidi, if I'm not mistaken. No, I might be mistaken. Marhalatu Tadween al-Qira'at. So from the time of the Prophet ﷺ, then the Sahaba, then the Tabi'een, how did the Qira'at come about? Very interesting. What is the difference between al-Qur'an wal-Qira'at? And there's difference of opinion there. One thing that I want to mention here is that sab'atu ahruf, the Qur'an was revealed in 7 types or 7 forms. That's always played with my head, played with my mind, and shaitan probably attacks me through that angle as well. Then you start getting doubts and the rest of it. So I asked my teacher 1 or 2 questions, and he answered one of them. He said, the second one you don't need to know now. He said, keep things basic, keep things simple. When you increase in your ilm, when you get to masters, for example, then you can start asking these questions, because he knows shaitan will play with your mind. And I think he plays with many people's minds when it comes to the Qur'an as well. Penultimately, we have Al-Qiyam al-Islamiyya. Now, I'll be very honest with you. As I say, we try to be real out here. This is my weakest subject in the sense that I didn't pay attention to it at all. It's just general stuff about Islamic values and principles. Teacher was interesting because, we just reading and copying the text. So, but alhamdulillah, it was there were a few bits that were interesting. Islamic values, for example, Qur'an, Sunnah, and that's the exam that I have. So I will need to start picking up on it. Al-Ihsan, Al-Adl, Al-Sidq, Al-Amana. These are all Islamic values. Al-Ilm, Al-Deen. It's everything connected to Islamic values. And finally, At-Tibyanu fi Adab Hamalat al-Quran, Ta'lif al-Imam al-Allama al-Mujtahid Muhyiddin Abi Zakaria Yahya bin Sharaf Nawawi, rahimahullah ta'ala, Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah ta'ala, which is At-Tibyan. This is a very good, sorry, I got the hadith as well left. At-Tibyan is basically very good. Why? Because Adab Hamalat al-Quran, it's about adab for the one that carries the Quran. So it's very good, very interesting. we went, so that was the exam I had today. Alhamdulillah. So, it's got الباب الأول في أطراف من فضيلة تلاوة القرآن وحملته. الباب الثاني في ترجيح القراءة والقارئ على غيرهما. الباب الثالث في إكرام أهل القرآن والنهي عن إيذائهم. الباب الرابع في آداب معلم القرآن ومتعلمه. That's a very long chapter. Why? Because it's the one that studies the Quran and the one that teaches it. What are the adab relating to it? إخلاص النية, very important, which is the first thing. Adab is so important. Wallahi, adab is very important. And then الباب الخامس في آداب حامل القرآن, the one that carries the Quran, and في آداب القراءة. So, reciting ta'awudh, tasmiyah, the order of your recitation, for example, in salah, raising your voice or not. And the teacher, alhamdulillah, is very good as well, because he was very realistic again. He was being realistic. Because in the book he says, for example, that some scholars, so he starts by saying some Sahaba and Tabi'een, they used to finish the Quran every 10 days, then 7 days, then 3 days. Okay, your mind accepts that. And then one day, so you start thinking, okay, and then one night, and then between Asr and Maghrib, for example. So obviously, I asked the question. He said he doesn't really believe some of the stuff, because we have to be realistic. But then you have karamat and the rest of it. But still, you have to be realistic. And it was funny because I asked that question, and 2 weeks ago when Sheikh Hussein al-Sheikh was in the gathering, he asked Sheikh Abdullah. He asked him. He said, "I've read this and that. Like, what are your views on this?" And Sheikh Ihab Fikri actually answered. But I don't want to give the answer here because I don't want to misquote or anything like that. Finally, Hadith Tahlili, 2 hours. This is just a printout, it's about 60 pages. Hadith Tahlili is more around the ahadith that are relating to the Quran. So, for example, we studied the Sab'atu Ahruf, for example, Jam'ul Quran, how the Quran was compiled, the hadith relating to that, how the Quran, wahi, how the Quran was revealed, and then Fada'il, many Fada'il, so Fadlu Surah Al-Baqarah, Fadlu Surah Al-Kahf, Mu'awwadhatayn, which is Surah Al-Falaq, Surah Al-Nas, and the rest of it. So that was Hadith Tahlil. I just got my results today, alhamdulillah, I passed on this exam. And that is what we studied in the 3rd semester in the Faculty of Quran. Nas'alullah al-qubula wal-ikhlas. I hope you learned something there. I hope you gained some benefit. I hope you gained some motivation. The aim is that we should all get connected to the Quran. It will change your life. And if you're true with the Quran, with ikhlas and the rest of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise your rank elsewhere as well. No doubt about it. The 3 main areas, al-qira'atu sab', tafsir, and ulum al-Quran. I'll bring you more on these aspects very soon in 2024. Pray for me. Pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts from me and protects me and preserves me and my family and my parents, wife, children, siblings, teachers, colleagues, everyone that helped me financially previously back in the day. And nas'alullah al-qubula wal-ikhlas. Jazakumullah khairan. If you watched till now, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.